Hello, everyone. This is Jeff here with Torie and Coby.
Oh my
Coby's
god, he's
back.
I
back.
know everyone missed me so much. All of
All
our
of our-
fans.
All
Yeah.
those people.
They were dying to hear my golden vocals.
He's back from Europe.
Yes.
Tell us how Europe was in a brief 5-second.
5 second Europe. Europe was great. Very European. A lot of European food. Boom.
Beautiful.
No sports animes.
What? No
Okay,
sports
that's a
animes?
0. That's a 0 out of 5 European trip.
Because we're all about sports animes.
That's our thing now.
That is something.
Anyways, so we're talking about Megalo Box again. This time we're on episode 9. And I figure we should just jump right into it. What do you guys think?
Sounds
Yes.
like a good plan.
I like it because we're jumping right into it because that's exactly what the episode does. It just jumps right into it.
It does, literally. I thought we missed an episode because it just jumps into the action.
I thought so too. I was like, oh God, am I not on episode 9? We're just like right in this fight. Like, oh gosh, what's
Yeah.
happening?
Yeah, we literally had to like close out of the episode and be like, is this the one? Like look back through the Crunchy Log episodes and see. But yeah, it starts off in the round 2 of the fight against
Shirato guy.
Shira. I still don't know their names, but basically the
Shirato
Yeah.
guy.
So the bro, the Shirato bro, because there's a Shirato girl as well. So Shirato bro versus Gearless Joe starts in the middle of the second round. Things aren't going as well as Gearless Joe was hoping.
No, he's getting his ass kicked.
In the last episode, they thought that'd be pretty easy, or at least easier, because they figured they learned that the gear picks up on like electronic like signals from the opponent's gear. But since Gearless Joe doesn't have a gear, that gives him the advantage. But it turns out, what a twist! His gear actually was upgraded, and now it apparently is able to predict regular human movements as well.
Did you guys like that?
No, I think that's a cheap shot. Like, I thought it would be much better to see how he would react without using his gear in like a battle between two people that would be exactly the same. Instead, he just had to upgrade and get a better shot. It's just poor writing, in my opinion.
I agree in a sense. Just my problem with it is that it just kind of negates the whole episode prior, where it's just like, I like the buildup of like the mystery of like, why did he try to get the fight thrown out? Why did he get him to quit? Oh, it was a bluff because his gear can't sense movement. Like that whole storyline is just kind of moot now because it like doesn't really matter. Like it was like, sure, it was a good surprise like in the moment, but the way that it's structured where it just throws you into it and he's getting the crap beat out of him, where just there's no big reveal that, oh no, his gear, his gear can sense all of his normal movements now. Like it just doesn't make sense for the story that we were already told an episode prior.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense for the story, and it doesn't make sense in the context of the current episode as well, because I guess we can kind of skip around here. We already know, like, we know how Gearless Joe wins, and basically it comes down to Gearless Joe kind of like, he basically stops moving, like he doesn't put his guard up anymore, and it kind of tricks Ace, which is the name of the gear that Shirato Bro is using. So it kind of it fucks up with the gear, so it's not able to like go at its full power. But then at the very last moment, Gearless Joe is able to counter the last punch from Shirato Bro. But the twist in that is also that Shirato Bro and Gearless Joe were thinking that he was going to use Ace to use like a right straight, but then it turns out, I guess, like Shirato Bro kind of overcame that and was like, nope, I'm not going to do what the gear tells me to do. I'm going to go with the left straight instead. But Gearless Joe was still able to counter that. But the point is, at the end of the fight, Shirato Bro relied on himself and was able to trust himself instead of fully relying on the gear. And that's kind of his whole arc, is like, should I rely on the gear or should I just rely on myself? And it turns out that by the end of it, he ends up relying on his own strength. But they could have just done that anyways with the fact that his gear was ineffective against Gearless Joe, instead of putting in the whole story point about how, oh, his gear got updated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it could have been just like you said, Torie, like it could have been maybe the first 2 rounds. It's like, oh, he's not reacting or like my gear isn't reacting correctly because he's gearless, and then afterwards it's like, I gotta rely on myself now, and then he still loses that way. But yeah, they could have followed through with the story the same exact way. I just don't see why they had to throw in, oh, the gear is upgraded now.
And I mean, It seems like all this happened so quickly anyway. How did he have time to get his gear to be updated to the point where it can read signals that just aren't electrical? Like, why didn't they do that in the first place? Why didn't he just battle Gearless Joe? Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, like how long it took him to upgrade it, like why he went through the whole trouble of trying to bluff his way out of a fight with him if he could just easily upgrade it to fix that problem. Then it's...
Because it had to have at least been less than a week, because that's how long it was going to be for Megalo Box to start. I don't know when this... It doesn't tell us when this battle happened, but it was quick enough for him to do this in less than a couple days.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless we're missing something completely... I don't know. There might be some small detail that they explain where it's like, oh, well, it's... Because they were talking about, like, in between the fights, like, synchronization or something like that.
Yeah,
Like
synchronization. That's when he's like when the moves are fully integrated, like when the thing has a good analysis on what he's doing, and he's able to give himself over to Ace, right? Like that's when
is that
it
what
just.
it is?
That's what I
Okay,
thought.
okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, basically the more synchronized he is, or like more the 100% it is, the better that Ace can predict the moves.
The less of a real boxer he is, and that's the sucky thing, because it's like on paper I like that. Like I like him fighting a guy who's giving himself over completely to the machine and him trying to fight it. But like the execution, I enjoyed it. Like I'm bashing on it, but like I liked it enough. I mean, I liked the fight, and I liked Shirato dude as a character. More so based on the episode we saw previously. Like I don't think he had as much depth in this episode as he did before. But I just wish there was more. There was just it was a little. I wished it was more refined and better explained.
Yeah, it was a little anticlimactic.
Yeah,
because this fight has been building up for the past 3 or 4 episodes.
3 episodes, yeah.
Like that. Yeah, and so this is like the big final showdown between the two of them, and this, I mean, putting that all aside, putting aside like, oh, you know, it could have been this way or that way. The way that they executed what they had, I think, was just, it wasn't strong. It wasn't like, there wasn't as much emotion behind it, I guess. And
like,
go ahead.
I was saying, because I thought this show did really well with the Army Guys 2-episode story. Like I like both
really
those 2 episodes a lot.
Like,
and like the way that story resolved itself was really fulfilling. And like this one was just like, oh, okay. Maybe it's just because I'm biased. Like I'm biased towards stories. I hate when heroes get like the crap beat out of them, like constantly, like throw out, like he just gets beaten. But then the hero comes back with one punch and it ends the fight.
I was just about to bring that up. That seems like that's what Gearless Joe does. He gets the crap out of him, beat up this whole time, like throughout the whole like fight, and at the very end, it's either like a technicality that gets him or like just a one shot. And I don't know. I'm not very familiar with boxing in general, but I feel like once you get punches to the head enough, your like thinking and your like reaction time
decreases.
It decreases to the point where I don't think you can just physically come back like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't get better towards the end. You'd probably just get worse and worse.
Especially when you get like knocked out of the ring, like he did. I thought the only boxing I know is Rocky, and I thought he was pulling a Rocky, which is let himself get the crap beat out of him to wear Ace down, and like to get Ace, to lull Ace into a sense of I know exactly what he's doing, and then all of a sudden quickly he comes back with solid 1, 2, 3, 4 punches and like knocks him out. That he outsmarted the machine, but that's not really what happened.
Yeah, it's not what happened at all. And even if it is the same strategy that he's been using throughout the whole other the other fights as well. It's the same pattern essentially over and over again. There's I guess the small twist in this fight was that like he realized, oh, I'm just going to put my guard down, and that'll trick the robot into thinking I have something in my sleeve, but I actually don't, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
But yeah, it doesn't make any sense because throughout the whole fight, Shirato obviously has the advantage. He's downed Gearless Joe like 2 or 3 times throughout the whole fight, and then the fact that at the very end, Gearless Joe is able to knock him out for 10 seconds with one punch. It doesn't make much sense. But also, what's funny is, again, I'm not familiar with boxing either, but like, so he supposedly knocked him out long enough for the countdown to run out, but then like pretty much immediately after that, he gets up and he's like, "How did you do that?"
It's like, oh, I'm fine now. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, I guess when you get knocked out, you can get up after a while, but yeah, it's I don't know.
I like it if they emphasize the fact that really Shirato Bro was not that strong of a boxer without his machine, and that's why he got knocked out with one punch. But it seemed like a pretty talented dude outside of that.
Yeah, he was
But
training a lot.
if they just explained that a little more, that would have been better. But other than the fight itself, some other things that happened in that episode, which I like. We got a little bit more about Yuri, the big bad villain, which I like because I want to know more about him.
Mhm.
I liked his flashback scene with Shirato Bro, and I thought that was a really cool scene when he's like punching, and he's like, was that you who blocked, or is that the machine?
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, and then the next shot it was, and then you see Shirato Bro, he's like, it was the machine. And then it cuts over, and then it cuts to the next scene again. It's like, the machine is me! Which I thought was pretty cool.
It was.
Cool.
What I like about Yuri, and what I'm kind of noticing, I guess, it's like he's insulting Gearless Joe for being a stray dog, because like once the stray dog gets his claws in you, then it never lets go. But like really, Yuri's a stray dog too, because that's exactly what he did to Gearless Joe. Gearless Joe kind of insulted him once in the first episode in the freeway, and then Yuri shows up to fight him in the ring. Like Yuri is a stray dog as well, just like Gearless Joe.
Yeah, I think they're alluding to, like, they're basically the same.
Yeah.
They have the same philosophy. Like, I think Yuri respects Gearless Joe. There's a good rivalry between them. Like, they're eager to fight each other, not out of malice or hate or whatever, not even out of revenge, it seems. Mostly just out of, like, to prove who's the better fighter between the two of them. And it's all leading to the final fight between the two of them.
Yeah,
so.
like Gearless Joe said, it was like, and now I'm standing in your ring. So I guess we're on to Megalo Box, unless whatever happened at the end of the episode comes back to fight them with Nanbu, and seemingly whatever the deal he made with the one gangster.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's up with all that? I thought he was supposed to settle his debts.
I don't know. What do you guys think that he's like, what he says, like, now the ride's over or something?
He says the ride is over. So I guess I think probably what's going to happen is so in the very beginning, Nanbu and Gearless Joe's business was basically having Gearless Joe throw fights, and that's how they would that's how they'd make money, basically, is stacking up the bets and then making it to where at the very end, or whenever they want him to lose, they lose, so that the money comes in that way. So I think the boss man is gonna basically the odds are gonna be like in Gearless Joe's favor, I guess, because he just beat Ace. So they're gonna make him throw the fight at Megalo Box.
Okay. Oh, that's perfect. I didn't even think of that, but that has to be where it goes. I
think they're gonna tie it back to that. Yeah, and then the boss man's gonna be like, if you do this, then your debt is finally repaid. That's it. This is the last throw that you'll ever have to do your whole life. And so it'll be like drama between Nanbu and Gearless Joe. Nambu's gonna be like, maybe he should throw the fight, but ultimately, I think Gearless Joe will probably just be like, nah, fuck that.
And then, so the question is, if Nanbu comes to a side, Nanbu will support him. Like, he'll be like, don't throw the fight, I think, in the end, because I think it'd be weird if he doesn't.
Yeah, I think there'll be a moment of weakness, of course, where he'll be like, maybe you should throw the fight. And then maybe Gearless Joe either rebels against that, or Nanbu comes around and says, nah, forget it, just go for it, kind of thing.
Torie, what do you think?
So I made a joke after this episode that when he says your ride is over, it's like, oh, your debt's been paid. Oh, congratulations.
Oh,
our
great.
Deal's over.
No, that's
Thanks.
good. It's
job.
a happy ending.
Yeah, you've done good enough. Just keep going all the way.
I like how, I guess, in that end scene, I like how everyone is you're right, this is good foreshadowing to the fact that all the odds are in his favor. Now that all the people are supporting Gearless Joe, like all of them are on the side. It's like, hey, Nanbu, you want to marry my daughter? Like, you want to marry my daughter? Like,
yeah, that was
while
weird.
they're young. Yeah.
Your daughter, yeah,
But
he's like, the bun's still in the oven.
That is a good foreshadowing to what you said about how the fact that the odds are in his favor and he's going to be asked to throw the fight.
Yeah, I just thought of that, so that's, I don't know, it came out of nowhere.
Pretty genius.
How many episodes are this? Is this a 12 or 13 episode anime?
I believe it's 13 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way we can finish Megalo Box in this 13 episodes in the next, 4 episodes?
4 episodes, yeah. I think, that's a good point, because if this is a standalone anime, we're not going to have any more episodes or seasons after this, then they're going to really have to squeeze the fight, the next fight, like kind of like the fight before Yuri, and then Yuri's fight within the span of the next 4 episodes, and then there's that drama. Whatever the drama is, they're going to have to resolve that as well between Nanbu and the big gangster boss man with the snake tattoo. So I don't know. I think they're kind of setting themselves up for a disappointing ending. I kind of expect, like, I'm excited to see what happens, but I don't think it'll be satisfying in the end.
It seems like all the boxing matches are pretty much the same anyway, so I don't think that it could be that much different. So they're going to just cut down the screen time for fighting. That's my opinion.
Yeah. What do you think?
I agree, I guess, because I guess we'll hopefully, I don't know, the next episode seems like it has to be a cooldown episode because not Yuri, Gearless Joe needs time to rest because his body is beat to shit. Like, it's in such pain. But then he's got to fight. I imagine we'll see both fights, him fighting, who are the four? It's Yuri, Gearless Joe, there's like the Beast,
there's
I
a
think,
big
right?
Man, yeah, and then I don't remember the four.
And then the other guy is Yuri's rival, like, isn't it? Like, it's like his biggest rival. So I'm assuming those two will face off, and then Joe will have to face the Beast. And then we'll go from there. So I don't know how those episode structures are going to play out, but if this wraps up in 4 more episodes, I'm excited to see how they do it. I mean, there'll certainly be no stalling, I guess, but we'll see if the rest of the episodes were worth it in the time they devoted.
Right. Well, I guess that's about it. Unless you guys have anything else to add for Megalo Box episode 9 discussion.
I'm just gonna add, this episode was kind of meh for me. It was a little okay.
Yeah, I like I said, I thought it was anticlimactic.
Yeah.
It was. I think maybe I would have liked it more if I watched episode 8 and 9 back to back. Like, because then it would have felt like just like the complete story, and I wouldn't have felt shortchanged by Shirato Bro's lack of any major character arc in this episode. Because then I would have saw it just privately. But it is what it is. Yeah, it was just an okay episode. I like the episode title, a dead flower.
Dead
Never
flower
blooms.
Shall never die. Yeah, I love these episode titles. Like that's my favorite thing about this anime.
They all deal with death.
Death. Yeah.
Is that foreshadowing that Joe's gonna die at the end?
That would be a dramatic way to go.
Ooh, that'd be a great way for it to end.
He gets punched so hard, he just dies.
And then someone comes out, it's like, yeah, we probably shouldn't have let the dude with no gear fight. Like that was our bad.
Yeah. Okay, well, I hope you guys liked that episode.
Yeah.
Because we
thought it was okay.
Oh, I thought it was okay.
Or I mean, like, our discussion on the episode. Yeah, forget the episode itself. This is the meat of this anime.
Exactly.
But we've got another podcast called Anime Workshop. We talk about sports animes. We are going to be talking about Megalo Box when it's all over. But if you guys are starving for more sports anime discussion, please check that out.
Yep, thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next time. I'm Jacoby.
I'm Jeff.
Oh,
and my name's Torie. If you don't
I just threw you guys a curveball. Like I just signed off in a really different, lame way.
It's a new intro.
Yeah.
The end is the beginning is the end.
That was deep. That was too deep. Okay, we'll end it right there.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.